And we are live. So welcome to our another edition on Conversation on Being with
After a bit of a
Rachel Silber
pause.
and today Patricia Berthelier. Today
Yeah. Berthelier. Will please explain us the story of Berthelier. I love it.
Rachel, I love you.
But I'm really trying.
I love your French accent when you speak English. That's beautiful. Okay, so it's Berthelier in French is Berthelier, and it was Berthe Allais. And Berthe Allais used to be in ancient times. It was the teen jog you would take to the farm next door and get the freshly milk
Fresh
from the
milk.
cow. Okay, yeah, and I used to do that when I was a wee girl. I used to milk cows, and I would get my milk jugs with me, and that was beautiful. I love that.
That's so cool. People think, oh, no big deal. You go to the supermarket and there's actually an art to milking. There's a real art to milking. And I was at a farm where we got to experience it. I mean, not like a wee girl going to get fresh milk in the morning. This was tourists in a milk farm, just helping to milk the cows. But it was really interesting. And at one point, the cow kicked the bucket and the milk spilled on the floor.
Yeah, because you have to have a true connection with the cow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was a wee girl, I used to take the cows to the field too, and I would stay with them all day. And in the evening, I would milk my favorite one. She was called Marguerite, Daisy, and she wouldn't let anybody else but me milk her because we had that connection. And there was so much tenderness. Sometimes she would, with her head, she would like this, my shoulder, and and it was energy, both ways. And nowadays, well, of course, Daisy has been long gone, but every time, because you can see, I don't know about the USA, but here in Europe, in France, we've got cows, and I know all the various breeds of cows. You've got cows all over the places, where I do a lot of bike riding. So I'm always with cows, and I'm always speaking to cows, even not aloud, but I'm always in connection with them, even if I just see them out of the corner of my eye. And very often, if I stop by at the side of a field, they come and they all come together as they would, and we start a silent conversation. And I love that.
I love it.
Yeah, so if
cows are very interesting.
I love that.
It is such what it is.
Oh, Helen, I can't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, better. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was saying that communion with everything, with the cows, with nature, that is what being is. So
absolutely, and being you. Yeah, being you, because it's I mean, when you're being, you are being you. You can't be anything else or anybody else. Mm-hmm. And nature knows it.
Actually, we often aren't being, and that's the thing, because we try so hard to be something else that we're not in the. We're actually not being. We're
not me. They're not me.
Or not you. Yeah, exactly. Like we had the conversation with Maestra, like being not
that's it.
us.
Yeah. So being not me to not be you, and to not being, actually. I like that being,
somebody else, like your mom, like your dad, like copying them, copying friends, copying like their illnesses, even sometimes copying their problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's interesting.
And also, sorry, Rachel, and also being what you think others are expecting you to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And maybe that's the most pernicious thing of all, to go beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about the cows and going for the bike ride in nature, that's kind of like the energy when we allow ourselves to be. At least for me, when I'm in nature, when I'm alone from people. And what if it's not true? What if we can be us no matter what the
Yeah, but it's a
circumstances?
different.
Of course, you can be what you are on your own in nature. I mean, it's a choice. It's that easy. I choose to be it, and that's it.
Say more.
Well, it's interesting, Patricia, because it's a choice when you see that you have a choice. Most of us are given almost like a bill or an expectation, like an order of this is how you're supposed to function.
I didn't get the last part of what you said.
You're freezing, Rachel. Your internet connection is
for
not
us,
very good.
like the thing that's learned.
Yeah, it's.
Did I freeze?
Well, I suppose we could talk and on being for ages,
Hello?
but it's yes.
Hi.
Can you hear me? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yay!
What I got, and I got it late in life actually, is that well, pretty soon I stopped wanting to be like my parents or whoever. Okay. But I was still, how could I say? I was a teacher. So when I was with my pupils, when I was at work, for years, I've been behaving, or I was, what was expected from teachers by my own workmates, by the pupils, by the parents, by my own hierarchy, and by what myself I thought that being a teacher was.
Yeah, and then you actually judge what they expected you. Their expectation might have been different, but you think that's what they expect you to be.
It's here.
It's a twisted kind of like on its own. And it's almost like not almost, it's a monkey mind that keeps us stuck. Hi, Rachel.
Yeah, because back here. Yeah, it really is a monkey mind. That's you got the right description or word or whatever for it, even if it's right or wrong, we don't know. But you think you need to be that, and you are it, and you're not happy with it. And well, anyway, to make it short, I realized that something like 15 years ago that I was a teacher. When I was at work, I was not who I wanted to be. I was not being, I was doing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so,
speak more about doing versus being, because a lot of people, like some of our viewers now or in the future, might not be familiar with access terms of being, doing. So if you could speak more about that, explain those terms to people so they kind of can get out of that frame of mind of doing and going to being.
I'll try to. I'm not okay. I get it energetically. It's here. I'm not that good with words, but okay.
That's part of being and doing also. That's a huge part of the conversation. Because how much of words is the proving too? So yeah,
it's the doing too. Okay, it's just very. It depends.
Yeah, it's about getting everybody's perspective on being and doing. So with words versus energy. Yeah, Patricia, love what you're saying.
Yeah, they're very, and you know, Helen, we're saying we do, or Rachel, you said that very often people speak and it is doing, right? Because they use words not for the energy they are. Words don't happen because of the energy that's underneath. They just use words as if they were routine words. They are void of their energy. It's nothing. Okay.
Sometimes not even congruent.
Yeah, but it's doing. So very often people talk, but it's nothing than doing. They don't even communicate. They're not being. They're not in connection with the language, with the energies, with the people they are talking to. They're just doing. Okay, routine things. Even in access consciousness, you can, there are when you use the tools, you do the tools. You're not being them. Yeah. But being is something, you're just there, and there's that flow around you or in you, even you don't even know if it's around you. There's that flow, and you can just, you can expand or whatever, right? But you are being it, okay? You're being the language, you're being the word, you're being the energy, and your words are here for your energy. That's what I've always liked too about poetry, because in poetry you can find that words are energies.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Even the spaces between the words.
Yeah, the silence, that's it. Because it's a space, it's like the molecule and the space in our body, it's the same. And about poetry, I was listening, it's funny, the working of consciousness, it's so amazing. And I was, I bought Gary's book, The Place, something like 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I bought it on Audible. And just after the maestro class, the next day, I found the book in my Audible account, which I totally forgotten about. Oh, press the button, and that is pure poetry.
Yes. And actually, very few, like Gary, bless you. Gary uses very particular words and ways of bringing people to the awareness of energy if they're willing. I love that book, and that's such a beautiful way of expressing it. It's poetry in motion. It's
and you've got when you listen to it, and with Gary's voice, this is just miraculous, and you get all the world or the universe, and you are the universe, and I mean, it's wow. I suppose I'm going to listen to it 100 times, There's
a book club that's starting in, I don't remember when it's starting. It's very soon. That's for the book, The Place. And it's over several weeks. And I'm looking forward to that. And thank you for the reminder as well. I have my physical copy, and I have my Audible Gary reading copy, and it's
my Audible Gary.
I also have the Being You book in the computer in the Kindle thing, and I have it in a physical that my dog chewed up, and it's just beautiful. And there's a book club of the Being You book also, which is going on actually. Tomorrow is chapter 3, and I think if I remember correctly,
we are reading it.
What?
We
are the ones reading it.
Yeah, we're reading. It's not so much reading the book as
tomorrow. Are you?
Tomorrow, yeah, it's at 2 p.m. Central or 2 p.m. Houston time, and there's a whole bunch of facilitators that over the last 2
weeks. I know.
Yeah, and
I'm invited for the Kingdom of We.
Awesome.
Chapter.
I think I'm Kingdom of We with you. So, hey, we could be Kingdom of We together. But I don't think that I have the thingy on here, but it's the Being You book club.
Let me
see.
Book club,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if you can put the link in, that's great.
I put it in. It's in there. There's the book website. Good. For anyone who doesn't have it, and there's the Being You book club, and the Access Consciousness website, or on Amazon, you can find the book The Place by Gary Douglas, and really begin this conversation of communion with nature, and this communion that's really who you be, truly.
Yeah, that's about a being. and that's it. I'd like it, just say being is about being, and that could be enough. It's enough for me. I don't have to add anything else, but it's about being.
But a lot of times people think that being is just doing nothing, which is not
Oh my
true.
God. Oh no. It keeps being, it keeps changing every 10 seconds. I'm always reverting to my bike riding because, it's something very pragmatic so people can understand it easily, even if they don't ride any bikes. But when I go riding on my bike, if it's a 3-hour ride or a 10-hour ride or whatever, I'm on my bike. Actually, I'm doing nothing, sort of. Okay.
Well, you're moving the pedals because I think otherwise,
but the bike
work in your favor.
Yes, of course. But I'm not. How would you say? I'm not creating anything. I'm not doing. Okay. But every 10 seconds, I make a different choice because I ride my bike in the forest, so you have the path, a single track. So every 10 seconds, even less, every second, you have to choose which way you're going to put your wheels, your front wheel. Or if you're going to turn into that single track or into this other one, or if you're going to go next to that tree, or how you're going to jump over the stone or the rocks or whatever. And are you going to go forward, backward, sideward, etc. on your bike, whatever? Are you going to brake hard or just very slowly, etc.? Okay. Sorry to either use.
It's fantastic because it's that active yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, every second. And with your eyes, it's the same thing. Where am I going to put my eyes? And okay, I've seen it. So into the future, next. Okay. I'm always here on my bike. I'm always making choices about what I'm doing, what I'm going to do, and I'm always seeing into the future, or seeing what I'm choosing here will create in the future.
Yeah.
So it's like a metaphor of what being is, and I am being because I'm totally in my body, and not only in my body, but also I can, what I've developed is I see with my eyes, but at the same time I can hear the trees, I can feel them, I can hear the birds all around. I am with the birds, I'm with the trees, I'm with the ground, and with the weeds, and it's being.
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly.
And your willingness to be that, and to be that spaciousness and that ease with everything, contributing, communioning, telling you that it's there. Like I was just listening today to the Earth Wizards call that Gary and Shannon and Dane had done a couple of days ago. I was only able to hear a little bit of it live, but then I heard it this morning, and there was Dane telling his rattlesnake story. That from a mile and a half away, he started going, I hope I don't run into a rattlesnake today. I hope I don't run into a rattlesnake today. Hope I don't run into a rattlesnake today. And sure enough, as he's jogging on this creek, in like this forest area or whatever around Santa Barbara, suddenly he starts jumping, sees a rattlesnake on the other side, and turns midair and keeps going back. And he's like, oh, the snake was saying, like, hey, I'm here. How much is nature saying, hey, I'm here, be aware of this, come this way, oh, look at this magical surprise that's here. Or even the cows going, oh, you yummy, yummy energy. I love to be around that. And they're honoring that. And they're coming forth to say, hey, another human being who actually gets us. What a concept.
Yep.
Yeah, and you do feel that. I mean, it's more than feeling. Now I know that's how I got to know that the universe always has my back, that nature always has my back, the trees have my back, the birds and everything. And when you learn to be with them and to be in connection with them, they just they've saved me from very big crashes, from killing myself on the bike, because I do things that are very dangerous actually. And they've always been here. It's incredible. I've got so many instances. Well, I can't tell you about them because I never keep anything in my memory. It's all, but and for example, last year I was in New Zealand with my bike for 3 months. So I went from the south to the north of New Zealand, just riding my bike and bikepacking. That's what you call. And that's some wild. It's quite a wild place. Okay, when you go into the forest, I never went on the roads, so I just took through the forests. And it's a wild, and it can also be a dangerous place. And sometimes you don't find any, it's just like the universe had my back, because nothing happened to me. And every time I kept asking questioning one of the tools for being, and whenever I felt I was getting thirsty, because at times I would ride for something like 8 hours without anything to drink, no, not even a creek, no river, no nothing. And I would just ask the universe, now, universe, can you do that for me? Can you find some water, or bring me somewhere where I find some water? Or how easy can it be? Or what can you create for me, or whatever? And it always, in something like 10 or 15 minutes, that was it.
So ask and you shall receive, hey? Why did it take 8 hours to ask?
Well, I think that, sometimes as humanoids, we like going into something difficult, because then you can control and you can overcome it. Yes, you're in the doing. That's when you are in the doing.
The proving and doing, and kind of like proving that we're strong, independent. All my life is like, I can do it on my own. Even with my baby, her first word was myself.
Absolutely.
Not mama, not dad, myself.
Yeah.
Wow. Being tense, going towards the target. And I listened, something changed recently before the maestro class in my life. I listened to Simon's podcast about relaxation. I think it was her podcast, Simone Milas's.
Yes, Simone Milas's is amazing. What is her podcast? The Change, Choice, and Creation, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Everyone can look it up on.
It's brilliant. Every episode is just brilliant. And that one was about relaxation. I'm not sure it was in a podcast or a call, whatever. And it's about being only from the space of relaxation.
Say more.
Okay. It's if you strive towards an end, towards a purpose, if you strive to be something or not to be something, or to do something or not to do something, then you are not in relaxation. You are tense, you are compressed, and you get solidified.
Yeah. That's why Gary had done a call also. The Ease is So Hard call a few months ago.
Yeah, and that's it. And Simone was saying a lot. I like Simone for her vulnerability. She's so amazing, And she said that she had just got to being relaxation not very long ago. thanks to Gary, of course, to Gary. That's something Gary said to her. Okay, but she was always trying to do things, to prove things, to get things done, and things like that. And it's about, that's one of the tools, about lowering your walls and barriers, lowering them until you feel your whole body sort of, you can feel it, you just go there, and you expand, just as, not even 1 second, less than 1 second, you're just lowering your barriers and you're everywhere. And that's the start of relaxation. And not being in judgment, totally out of judgment.
Which is really fun.
Then, and then you are these 5 elements of intimacy, just like that. It's as easy as that.
Wow. I like that. So much of our everything, be it social media, be it the things that we create, be it so many different things, are about getting it right, about proving things, about doing things the way the rest of the world expects. And actually, we got a tour of consciousness video from Dr. Dane here today. I can't just stand up, or I can't remember what it was, but it's new today.
Out of it, snap out of it.
Snap out of it.
Like that. Snap. Yeah, I think I saw that very briefly. Yeah.
And
snap out of it. I like that.
Interesting, because he said so many of us do the perfectly curated Instagram feed or whatever, but where are you as a being? And not only that, but is what you're being in the world inspiring other people to also snap out of the stupor of the status quo, of the perfectly manicured feeds, or the striving so hard to be like everyone else. What if more of us would just be that relaxation that you're saying, and be that space, and be that vulnerability? What would change?
Yeah, I wonder how much the world would be different if we were not in that contraction of fear and anger and frustration that the whole world is, especially with COVID. And right now, I'm 14 days of isolation since I came from Florida and from Texas.
And from Houston.
But it's actually
like a staycation. It's nice.
It is nice because I'm relaxing. I don't have to hurry somewhere. I got my food delivered yesterday, which was kind of fun.
Yeah. Plus, you're facilitating classes as well over the next few days. So why not online?
Wonderful.
Exactly. Why not? I mean, I'm not very limited. And I kind of did sneak out and walked outside, but that's not being with people anyway. It's still isolation.
Yeah.
But it's allowing me to kind of spend more time inside on being instead of doing. So everything is shifting and changing. Just what you were talking about, that relaxation.
And I can sense that relaxation. Your relaxation right now, Helen. I can sense it. It's here.
And it's so funny because a couple of days, because there is no urgency to do something. And I look, okay, I don't have anything scheduled. So what am I going to choose? Just like you were talking about with a bike ride, it's okay, so what am I choosing now? What am I choosing now? Even that I chose to watch some shows and read the books, and some of them were not access. They were just romance novel. It was so freeing. And one of them was actually Donna Brown, the girl that hosted me in Dallas. Amazing book that she wrote.
Oh, I didn't realize she's an author too.
I didn't either. So I was able to get her book online, and she signed the hard copy, but I was reading the Kindle copy because it's easier for me. so used to that. But that's also about being.
Mm-hmm.
It's about not having to do something. It's more about choosing in the moment and being aware. Rachel, you're muted.
And something you said popped up.
To cycle somewhere near here over and over, which is funny. That's usually what I have on my balcony at home, not here.
But we couldn't hear it. We can't hear it. Rach.
Oh, really?
No? Yeah. No, there is no noise.
Cool. It's quite loud here.
And I just wonder how much are we aware of our own life, projecting that other people judge us for that, where they're not even aware of that.
Yeah. So true. So true. With so many different things. I was thinking that because of the helicopter, but if you guys can't hear it,
nope.
Okay, maybe it's contributing or receiving. Who knows?
Who knows what it is? And how much we're not allowing to be with things just to be with them. And judging it and kind of like, oh, I don't want that. This is a distraction. This is nuisance. This is that. While it might be contributing to us in some way.
You know, Helen, something came up while you were speaking. I love what you said. And I love the ease and the flow in which you were. And it's about, sometimes I sense that we are doing, we get out of being into doing, because we suddenly let ourselves open to the urge of doing that is all around us.
Yeah.
You know, for example, on social media, you can feel that. The urge, you said it beautifully, Rachel, about, you know, being and, the image thing, kind of. But reality is that it's that urge that's been implanted in us to always do things. And we're back to what we said, you know, and it's when you get out of that urge of doing, then you are that ease, you are that relaxation.
Yeah. And the funniest thing, in the beginning, I was judging it. I was literally like, oh my God, I'm doing nothing. Because there was no productive element there.
And there was no outside pressure or a hanging carrot for motivation or something, you know.
Exactly. I didn't have to. I didn't have to. It was so freeing, but at the same time, so unusual. So there was some twisted energy.
But is it really unusual? Because it looks to me like what you, Helen, and Patricia are speaking about is that the ease of just gently choosing choice by choice. I think it may be your echo, by the way, Helen. I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah, is the mic unplugged?
Yeah, better.
Okay, so I'll mute myself. But actually, I was going to say something. It's unusual for this reality.
Thank you. So it's learned. The urge is a learned urge.
Yeah, it's entrainment to do.
Like the word.
To be productive in a society. Because I grew up in a society where if you were not productive, if you didn't work, you actually would go into prison.
Seriously?
Seriously, there was actually a law. So if you did not engage in...
But what do they consider productive? Because like comedians are productive too. They make people laugh, but some people may not consider that, you know, like an essential worker. Well, I think humor heals. So who says
if the comedian would work for the company, it would consider productive. If he would be on the street just performing, he would be loitering.
Wow.
Because you had, And if they found that you were not working, they would commit you to working and swiping the streets, because that happened a lot during the era when I was leaving. Because when we were immigrating, it was still communist, evil empire, as Reagan used to call it, where people who would apply to leave the country could not work, because if they did, they could have accused of some crime. So they had to leave work, but then they became the unemployed.
Yeah.
So they could be charged with certain crime and go to jail anyway. So they would.
So ridiculous. It's like
So they would swipe the streets as a work, because that could not be charged with anything.
Wow.
And so you could see professors, like mathematicians, physicists, swiping the streets so they wouldn't go to jail.
Wow.
That would be no judgeable offense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the irony of it, gosh.
What a waste of talent and capacity just for not rocking the boat or whatever. I'm sorry, I'm a little on the confused side, because I've been looking at so many different things before Maestro, but especially after the Maestro class, where it just does not make sense, like does not compute. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what all this proving is about, what all of this. So one of my friends, who's, I think, either her parents were born in the States or something, she wrote on a chat that we have with some other Guatemalan friends, she wrote "Happy Thanksgiving," and another one was like, "Oh, you don't have to be, you're not American, you shouldn't be eating turkey on this particular day," or something like that, just because you are not an American, kind of thing. And I'm like, what? If you want to eat the turkey, if you want to eat the taco, if you want to eat the platano, whatever, who cares? You're an infinite being. Why are you sticking yourself in a box? I just, it so didn't make sense to me, this whole strange reality that we seem to be living in. I'm not sure if it's even living in. It's almost like irrelevant in a way to me. Oddly.
It is insane. It's insane.
Totally made up.
Insanity goes even beyond, because each culture has its own twisted way of dealing with being or doing. Okay.
That's fascinating.
Helicopter?
Yeah.
Was there helicopters down?
No, I don't know why they decided to visit a lot today.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Could you hear it this time? Because I can mute next time they come past, or maybe they.
It was different. I don't think it was helicopter. I think it was more generated by the computers themselves.
Okay.
Oh no, there was a helicopter that just went by.
Okay, maybe. But
AIs want to have a say in our conversation.
Artificial intelligence. And I started watching actually a movie yesterday, Super Intelligence.
Super Intelligence?
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious, but in a weird, frightening way.
Oy. Idiocracy was hilarious enough.
This goes beyond Idiocracy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm going to watch it because I was like doing and not paying attention much to the movie, but the movie itself has a very good premise. It takes an average person, the artificial intelligence takes an average person to see if it should help humankind, kill humankind.
Wow.
And it's funny, but it's not.
Wow.
And how the government reacts, how people react, it's interesting. I'm not saying anything. And plus, I watched only 15 minutes of it. So.
Wow. Yeah, I know that is one of those things that just kind of makes me wonder about our future. So I'm going to put a question that I like down.
Yeah. Yeah. What choice can we make right now? Because when we are being, we're actually more aware of the choices that we have. When we are doing, we are in that perpetual, like almost like there's another movie that comes to mind. It's actually a show. And I don't remember the show name, but the idea is the angels are helping people. And there is a machine that gives them the names of people to help. And they find out that the machine is actually run by a hamster.
Oh, boy. But
the rat, you mean? The rat?
The hamster, the little tiny hamster,
God.
not even a rat, running in a little
on a
wheel. Yeah.
Whoa. So it's all relative, you know?
Exactly. And there was so much importance to that machine, to the names that they pick.
Wow. So what is it that we're giving importance to in that doing rather than being conversation?
Yeah. We're back to significance here. What do we make significant?
Right. Because the significance is the one that, the significance is part of that solidity of this reality, the importance.
Take it seriously, man. This is reality.
Yeah, it's doing. You have to do something about it.
Yeah.
It's important.
Wow.
It's vital.
It's really funny. So I've been at my parents' house for the past couple of weeks, and it's been really interesting on so many different levels. But it was really interesting just to see my mother's interaction. She's all like, what plans do you have? What orders? You know, like, tell me exactly, when are you coming? When are you going? We'd go to class. And when are you coming back from class? And I'm like, I've never in my life, that I remember anyway, have functioned that way. I flow. I choose at the moment as things show up and pick that, you know, pick what's lighter. And there isn't this beating myself up over, oh my goodness, I didn't get this done, or it's just, okay, what can create more ease? And it's the difference Patricia brought up earlier, that some people do the tools from this, oh my God, I have to get access right, or oh my God, I have to get these tools right, rather than just being the energy of the space and the curiosity and the wonder that these tools invite us to when we're not using them as a weapon against us. And it's
I like what you said, using tools against us. Can you speak more about that?
Well, we have been. This entire conversation has been about that.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was just, because I'm also in another book club. I seem to really like these access books, but I'm in another one that is like on week 3, I think, or week 4 of Beyond the Utopian Ideals that I'm doing with my friend Rihanna. And reading through that book, we're on a section which is question and judgment, and it's interesting because so many of us try to do question rather than allow the experience or the space of just being a question, just the space of wondering. And it isn't about, oh my God, give me the right question or the right process or the right whatever. It's, what space could I actually be to see that the energy that's beneath, or the energy that's available. One of the things that Dr. Dane was speaking about a lot last year was, what's the beautiful energy beneath this? Well, you know what? There's so much beautiful energy everywhere we look. When we're not so busy trying to change everything, we could just see it. And it just magically, just by being, you know, oh my God, that being thing, it just kind of melts everything without having to have all that effort.
Yeah, I like the melting. Well, it's been in a lot of conversation, but it's relaxation, it's melting energy, and then all that solidity and all this compression, do you say in English?
Yeah.
Go away. And then there's a space for something to emerge. And what comes up, what emerges is what you're being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't make it significant, because if you can make it significant, you stay with that, with what has emerges. Whereas if you don't make it significant, if you don't go into definition or structuring it, or, you know, you just, well, then you can go on choosing, and the next moment something else emerges. And it's so much joy. We've not talked about joy, but joy is there. When you're being, you are joy. You are, it's everywhere, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Is you're not working against yourself. When you're at joy, you're at gratitude, you're at relaxation, you are in that space of intimacy. Everything just kind of falls into place in such a strange way, but not place like a solid place that's locked into this fluid, I don't know, like flow, melty flow, and it's beautiful.
And you're not, you said that you're not working against yourself, but we are not working against others too.
Yeah.
And that's the magic of it, because we stop working against the others, because that's what we do continually when we're going to right or wrong. And then we can connect to them, and they can connect to us.
Yes.
And they can come to our space, and they can be changed by it or not, or they can choose something different. And that's the magic of being that space. Of being.
I love that. And it's interesting because that magic space of being, and I like the way you put it together there with the words, but it invites everything. That magic space of being is where the trees are whispering to you in the forest as you ride through. It's where the rocks are even probably sometimes moving out of the
they are
inviting you to hop over them, maybe like, ooh, yummy back massage here. Or whatever it is, it's that magic space of being. And I think if more of us are willing to step into that magic space of being, then more of us would contribute to a really much happier planet. You know, it's almost as if the planet and the animals and the trees and the plants are asking us to be more aware.
They are. And they have been more and more for the last few months, you know. And definitely.
Wow. I put a little tag there where people can find you.
Oh, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.
I may have to leave you because I think, to translate a call for Moira Bramley.
Okie dokie.
Brilliant. About creating your life.
I like that. Creating your life is a wonderful thing. And that truly is a conversation on being also. So how does it get even better? Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Patricia.
I loved it.
Thank you so much, and lovely conversation.
Yeah, that was really. Okay.
It was wonderful. And if anybody would like to reach any of us, find out more, there's also a Being You class with Dr. Dane that's coming up in the middle of the month. So everyone is invited to that as well. And book clubs, and enjoy, and happy holidays, and more of the magic of being.
And we'll see you on Thursday.
Yep. Back from my Bye.
Bye. Bye.